This week's reading begins with a discussion over the protocol for bringing what are called bikurim, the first fruits. The first of certain species that grow are meant to be brought to the temple, to God. They're given to the Kohanim eat them. Okay. And there's a process to it. You bring it in a basket, you give it to the Kohen, and then you are meant to make a declaration. You speak up and you say, and then there's a whole story behind it. This appears in the Haggadah at the Seder on Pesach evening. We recite most of this passage. Kind of bothers me, side point, but I'm going to get onto my soapbox here. It kind of bothers me that people get to this part of the Torah and they say, oh, I know that's from Pesach. When you get to it on Pesach, you should say, I know that from the Torah. But, okay, I'm going to step down from the soapbox now. It's a summation in a few lines of Jewish history. We had some dealings with Uncle Lavan. We went down to Egypt. The Egyptians were bad to us. God took us out. We came to the land, etc. It ends with the passage, now God look down and bless us, etc. on this land. That part's left out of the Haggadah because it's not relevant to that particular part of the story. We're talking about the history. What's the point of this? So there are really two questions. One of them is, why, specifically at the time of Bikurim, do we mention this? Rather than in connection with any other. Okay, it's an agricultural commandment, but we have plenty of other agricultural commandments, right? It makes sense. We're talking about the land, how we got to the land, fine. Okay. But why this one? Why not any of the other agricultural? Okay. That's a separate question. I'm not going to address that today. In part because I don't know. I have ideas, but beside the point. The main question I'm going to ask is, what's the point? Life is in the present. Life is in the future. Not in the past. The past has happened. It's gone. We can't do anything about it. So what does it matter? Why bother? My simple understanding is that it is more important where we're headed than where we were. But how we got from where we were to where we are informs how we get from where we are to where we want to be. And I specifically choose that term, not where we will be, where we want to be. Because if we don't take control, we don't take stock, we don't make the decisions, we'll end up where we will be. But it won't necessarily be where we want to be. There's no guarantee, but if we want the best chance of ending up where we want to be, we need to understand the patterns that have led to where we are now. And then we can continue in that path if it's worked, and we can adjust if it hasn't. Not necessarily throw it all out, but maybe fine-tune it. The past is the key to the future. The present doesn't exist in a vacuum. Consider that and plan how to get to whatever it is your ideal future looks like. Shabbat Shalom.